I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, went to law school, passed the Virginia bar exam on my first attempt, and started building a legal career. Then I became a realtor. Most people assume I left law behind. The truth is, I use my legal training every single day. In fact, it has become one of the biggest advantages that I bring to my clients when they are making one of the largest financial decisions of their lives. And looking back, I don't think I ever really left law. I think I found a different way to use it. Growing up, I was always analytical. My strongest subjects were math and science. In high school, I had the opportunity to take a law class, which sparked my interest in the legal system and eventually led me towards law school. At the University of Pennsylvania, I majored in political science, not because I was obsessed with politics, but because I knew law school would require a tremendous amount of reading, writing, analysis, and critical thinking. From there, I attended George Mason Law School in Arlington, Virginia. Like most law students, I assumed I would spend my career practicing law. I wasn't necessarily envisioning myself arguing cases in court every day. I was interested in business law, transactions, counseling clients, and possibly mergers and acquisitions and Wall Street type of work. Law seemed like the natural path. I don't regret any of it. After law school, I had the opportunity to work in several different areas of the law, including litigation, corporate matters, and real estate law. Each experience taught me something valuable and helped shape the way I think and advise my clients today. I enjoyed the intellectual side of the law, analysis. I enjoyed problem solving. I enjoyed helping my clients. And I still value my legal education tremendously. In fact, I use it every single day. What I didn't realize at the time was that the skills that I learned in law school would end up shaping my entire real estate career. Then came September 11th, 2001. The world as we know it changed. The economy changed, and the legal hiring environment changed. I wasn't looking for a new career. I was looking for a way to stay afloat while figuring out my next move. Then, one conversation changed everything. A longtime friend named Bill suggested I get my real estate license. Bill had spent more than 30 years in the business. He looked at my background and said, "You understand contracts, you understand negotiations, you understand risk. You should get your real estate license, Brian." At the time, I did not think that real estate would become my career. I thought it might be a temporary opportunity, a bridge while I figured out what came next. So I got licensed. One of the first things Bill told me was, contact everyone you know. So I gathered up email addresses and I gathered up attorney email addresses throughout Northern Virginia and sent an announcement introducing myself. Many people ignored it. Some asked, "Please remove me from your list." Some weren't so polite. But one person responded. A respected real estate attorney named Bo Brinsfield in Old Town Alexandria invited me to lunch. We sat down. We talked for hours. We connected immediately. And not long afterwards, Bo offered me a position at his real estate law firm. I practiced real estate law while simultaneously building a real estate business. And that period taught me something very important. I enjoyed real estate sales, not because of the houses, but because of the people. Now, one of the unexpected benefits of working with Bo was the exposure it gave me to the broader real estate industry. At the time, his firm represented RE/MAX Allegiance on various matters. In fact, years before I became managing broker of the Alexandria office that I now lead, I was involved in legal work related to the purchase of the very building where I work today. At the time, I had absolutely no idea how significant that connection would become. Through that legal work, I began meeting people inside of RE/MAX. I developed a relationship with one of the RE/MAX agents, and that agent became a mentor. And one day, he said something that changed my trajectory. If you're serious about building a real estate career, RE/MAX is where you should be. That advice eventually led me to RE/MAX Allegiance, where I've now been for over 20 years. Bo also taught me something that I've never forgotten. One day we were discussing contracts and he pointed to a simple phrase that occasionally appeared in real estate transactions. He called it his magic sentence. "This offer is subject to review by my attorney." To most people, it sounded harmless. To Bo, it was powerful. He explained how a few words could fundamentally change the legal nature of an agreement and potentially transform what people thought was a binding contract into something very different. It was one of my earliest lessons that words matter. A few carefully chosen words can completely change the rights, obligations, risks, and outcomes. And more than 20 years later, I still think about that lesson every time I review a contract. This work also introduced me to the broader real estate community. Through BO, I became more involved in industry education, professional development, and eventually the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors. That involvement would later lead to leadership opportunities, 6 years of board service, hearing panels, relationships that helped shape the rest of my career. Now, you might be wondering, why would somebody with a law degree willingly jump into a commission-only business where there are no guaranteed paychecks? At some point, I had to choose. I couldn't fully commit to practicing law and building a real estate sales business at the same time. Now, let me be clear. Real estate is not a profession for people who avoid difficult conversations. My clients expect me to advocate for them and advocate for them strongly. They expect me to negotiate aggressively when necessary. My clients expect me to protect their interests, and they expect me to use my legal background to identify risks, solve problems, and help them avoid costly mistakes. My legal background has been incredibly valuable in doing exactly that. However, unlike many legal disputes, most real estate transactions begin with people trying to accomplish something rather than defeat someone else. The buyer wants a home, the seller wants to move on to the next chapter of life, and the lender wants to make the loan. The agents on either side want to help everyone get to settlement successfully. While there are certainly disagreements and challenges along the way, the goal in real estate is usually to create a successful outcome for everyone involved. That win-win environment appealed to me. During my second year in real estate, Deborah and I bought our first home. It's actually the same home where we still live today. At the time, I felt strongly that if I was going to advise people on buying homes, I needed to experience the process myself. I wanted to understand the emotions, the excitement, the uncertainty, the commitment. We only looked at a handful of properties ourselves. Then we walked into a condo in Alexandria. Immediately, we knew. My wife Deborah and I looked at each other and had that same look that I've now seen hundreds and hundreds of times from buyers. That look that says, this is the one. We loved the light, the 40-foot balcony, the location, the potential. Was it perfect? Not even close. The carpet needed replacing. The kitchen needed updating. Over the years, we've transformed it. We stripped wallpaper, painted, installed new floors, eventually renovated the kitchen. And that experience taught me one of the most important lessons I've shared with buyers ever since. Don't confuse cosmetic problems with permanent problems. You can change kitchens. You can change bathrooms. You can change flooring. You can't always create location, views, light, and lifestyle. Sometimes the right home is not perfect. Sometimes it's simply full of potential. One of my earliest memorable clients was a young woman buying a townhouse near Quantico. A few days after settlement, she called me very upset. The sellers had removed blinds and window treatments that were supposed to stay with the property. To many people, it might have seemed like a minor issue, but it wasn't minor at all to her. That's where my legal background became very useful. I reviewed the contract, and she was right. The items were supposed to convey. Most agents probably would have told their client it wasn't worth pursuing. After all, we're talking about blinds and window treatments. But this wasn't just about blinds. It was about honoring the contract. It was about protecting my client's rights. And it was about making sure that a young, first-time buyer was not taken advantage of. Due to my legal training, I understood both the contract language and the process for enforcing it. We went to court. We obtained a judgment, and the sellers quickly paid. More importantly, more than 20 years later, she's still a client. I've helped her buy and sell additional homes, and she's referred numerous clients to me over the years. That experience taught me something I have never forgotten. There is no such thing as a small client. A transaction may be small to you. It is never small to them. Then came 2008. The housing market changed dramatically. Foreclosures, short sales, uncertainty, fear. I met families facing financial situations they never imagined that they would encounter. One case that stands out involved homeowners who were facing foreclosure. They were terrified, not just about losing the home. They were worried about what would happen afterwards. Would they still owe money? Would their financial future be ruined? Because of my legal background, I was able to help them understand not only the real estate side of the transaction, but also some of the legal and financial implications they were facing. We successfully negotiated a short sale. More importantly, we negotiated terms that protected them from any additional liability. What could have become a financial disaster for them became an opportunity to move forward and rebuild. That experience reinforced something I've seen throughout my real estate career. People don't just need someone to sell a house. They need someone who can help them navigate uncertainty. Markets always change. The people who survive are the people who adapt. That lesson has stayed with me ever since. As my career grew, I discovered something unexpected. I loved teaching. For several years, I taught the Principles of Real Estate course for individuals pursuing their real estate license. I enjoyed helping people understand the real estate business. I enjoyed answering their questions, helping people understand what comes after passing the licensing exam. Several years into my career, I decided to pursue my broker's license. I simply wanted to learn more, to better serve my clients. Soon afterwards, an opportunity opened within my brokerage, RE/MAX Allegiance. I met with Charlie Bengal, our CEO, and that conversation eventually led to becoming a managing broker. Over the years, I've managed offices in McLean, Arlington, and Alexandria. I've worked and supervised roughly 200 agents throughout my management career, and I discovered that I enjoyed helping agents solve problems just as much as I enjoyed helping clients solve them. One of the biggest lessons that my legal training taught me is that words matter. Over the years, I've reviewed thousands and thousands of contracts. Every sentence matters, every contingency matters, and every deadline matters. Every word in the contract can have consequences. I've spent years teaching agents that we're not simply filling in blanks. We're helping establish the framework of the transaction for our clients. The contract isn't paperwork. The contract is protection. And understanding that distinction can make a tremendous difference when problems arise. Here's the irony. Even after leaving law practice, I kept finding ways to use my legal background. I represented agents in disputes, ethics complaints, appeals, and other difficult professional situations. I served 6 years on the board of directors for the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors. I participated in hearing panels. I have provided expert witness testimony, and I've advised agents navigating difficult situations. One agent spent months worried about a complaint that ultimately proved to be without merit. We prepared extensively. We went through the hearing process. She ultimately prevailed. What I remember most wasn't the outcome. It was the relief. Helping someone navigate a difficult situation and watching that burden disappear. People sometimes ask me whether I miss law. The answer is no, but I also don't regret it. Law wasn't a mistake. Law gave me a great foundation, how to analyze and how to identify risk. And it certainly taught me how to negotiate. I still use all of these skills every single day. Looking back, I don't think my career has really been about law or real estate. It's been about helping people make very important decisions. Sometimes those people were legal clients. Sometimes they were home buyers, and sometimes they were sellers. And in management, sometimes they were brand new agents trying to build their careers. The titles changed, the business cards changed, but the mission stayed remarkably consistent. Help people understand their options. Help them avoid mistakes. Help them navigate uncertainty. Help them make good decisions. Looking back, the law taught me how to think. Real estate taught me how to serve. Teaching taught me how to explain. And managing taught me how to lead. So when people ask me why I left law for real estate, my answer is simple. I left because I found a better fit. And if I had to make the decision all over again, I would make the exact same one today.